What's up, dudes? It's Mike on the mic, Mike Stiskin with the Monetary Therapy Podcast Show. You can email us questions, info@monetarytherapy.com, or the website www.monetarytherapy.com. We talk about money, how to buy cash flowing assets, how to get ahead, how to win with your finances. It's not impossible. You just have to focus on it like anything else. So you got 24 hours a day, 168 hours a week. If you work 40 hours a week with time off for lunch, you work 35 hours a week, and then you listen to music at lunch on your break, and you listen to music on the way to work, and you listen to music at work, and you listen to music on the way home from work. Let's just talk about the lunch and on the way home. And let's say that an hour for lunch, half hour commute, half hour, that's 2 hours. You're listening to music, you're enjoying yourself. You're not going to get anywhere. You've got to listen to things that will help you get ahead. You want to listen to people talk about money or finances or your goals or wisdom or motivation. That's what I do. My education never stops. When I'm at the gym, I don't listen to music. I'm there to work out, but also to learn. So that's a half hour a day. Then I walk a half hour. So that's another 3 hours of education. And then I work probably till 8:30 to 9:30 every night. It's not forever. It's just I'm trying to get ahead. I'm getting ahead rapidly. I've tripled my income in the last 3 years. Money isn't everything. It doesn't buy happiness. It gives you abundance, though, and freedom to start going to the gym and taking care of yourself, to start looking at your future. You want to know how much you have in retirement or investments about what you're going to have. At some point, you're going to get tired of working, and you don't want to have that rude awakening when you're 65 and you're tired and you don't have enough or not even close to enough. That is frightening. That is not going to happen to me. So I'm on top of it every day, and I'm learning for 3.5 years, studying money, finances, budgeting. I've made mistakes. I've been scammed. I've made errors. I've failed, but I've learned and learned and kept learning. If you keep learning, you will win because you're focused on a goal. Focus determines your reality. And if you're working 40 hours a week, listening to music to and from work and an hour at lunch, and then you come home and watch TV, you're never going to have anything. You're just not. There's exceptions. You have people who are super high income earners, great. And then there's people who are on the lower end of income who struggle. And I hope everybody can do well. But in general, you have to focus on it to win, to get ahead. You want to do something, you've got to work on it all the time. Not forever, but a couple of years, 5-6 years of grinding, 6-7 days a week, nights and weekends, studying, learning, trying to build something, and then it can compound on top of itself. When you learn about money, you don't have to worry about money. And I do not want to worry about money. For me, for the older folks, for my kids, the grandkids, my wife, I do not, I will not, and I am not, because I'm going to focus on my education around it constantly and keep getting better, getting smarter, getting wiser, learning, and learning. It's like, what's the single most important thing about real estate? Location. Maybe the single most important thing about life, learning. Just keep getting better, keep getting wiser. Warren Buffett talks about that you want to improve your life, improve yourself. The best investment you can make isn't financial. The best investment is in yourself, is trying to create a wiser person, a person who's more prepared for the future. At some point, you have to take responsibility for your life. At some point, I remember, younger, you don't know what to do, you're wasting money, you're in debt, and then you get older. But at some point, you have to say, look, I wasn't taught this in school. I wasn't showed this by my parents. I didn't learn this. At some point, you have to take responsibility for your own life. Okay? And say, okay, I'm 50 years old. At some point, my wife might want to travel. At some point, we might want to stop working. Can we do that? Are we on track to do that at this age, at this income, at this level of investing? And a couple years ago, the answer was no, 3.5 years ago. And I said, let's get on top of this. While we're still young enough, we still have energy. And I love it, and I study it, and that's what I'm going to be doing forever, is probably this show and helping other people. Learning and working and getting ahead. Abundance is wonderful. To have options is amazing. To be able to help your kids and the older people and the young people is unbelievable. To take responsibility and say, I'm going to make sure, it's like a mandate. I'm going to do this. I am doing this. I will succeed at this. I don't care who's president. I don't care if we're at war, but I hope everybody is safe. Meaning in terms of the economy. I don't care about interest rates. I don't care about any of that stuff. Home prices, inflation, the cost of gas, none of that is going to affect me, because I'm going to learn and work hard to get ahead, to figure it out. And it's not for stuff, and it's not for things. It's for abundance. Buying cash flowing assets, purchasing income, investing in brokerage, using tax strategy to win, 1031 exchange, the margin account against your brokerage. So you can buy more assets, not more stuff. Do not upgrade your lifestyle. In so many businesses or careers or concepts, there's a linchpin. There's like, this has to be. When you build a house or a building, the foundation has to be right. If the foundation's crooked or not thick enough or not the right cement, you're done. You failed right there. So the foundation of money is financial literacy. And the linchpin is, do not increase your lifestyle. That lifestyle creep gets everyone. You see the person with that brand new Ford Bronco. I don't know if they're leasing it or buying it, but let's say it's, $4,500 down, or you traded in a car and lost $4,000 or $5,000 or $6,000 on the trade-in because you didn't sell it outright, or you wanted the deal, and then it's $489 a month. You could buy a cash car for $6,000. If you're trying to get ahead in life, the paint should be peeling off your car. I have a work van with paint peeling off it. I have another work vehicle with paint peeling off it. Okay? And then every other car I have is an asset. I rent them out. I rent them out to drive, or for music videos or photo shoots. I have 7 rental cars and 7 rental houses. I buy cash flowing assets. And I do not upgrade my watch. I do not upgrade my car. I do not upgrade my lifestyle. The trips I take, clothing, I do not. I'm trying to get ahead. Don't get ahead of yourself. But get that stuff later when you have so much abundance. There's this good saying about that, which I can't remember what it is. But it's the concept of that. It's like, wait till you have so much before you start doing that. Before you start getting the newer thing or the nicer thing. That's what gets everyone, is that lifestyle creep. Do not increase your lifestyle. Okay? Increase your cash flow. Reduce your unsecured debt. Purchase income. Make sure you're all set for the future. You can refinance loans. There's so many tips and tricks. Lower rate, more years. Take out money if you're going to buy an asset with it. But watch what you spend money on. You put in a pool in your house, $150,000. You get like $10,000 out of that when you sell your house. So you got to be careful. Better off to buy a house with a pool, right? Invest in yourself. Work hard every day towards a goal. You can spend time with your family, and you can go to Disney, and you can go on trips, but the focus needs to be, I'm going to shop my bills, I'm going to lower my bills, I'm going to increase my income, and I want to achieve something. So 9 to 5 pays for my life, 5 p.m. to 9 p.m., nights, weekends, pays for my future, and you can have abundance too. Oh, as much of a worry-free life as possible with excess to help with medical bills, to help if someone loses a job, to help if anybody has a problem with where they're living, what they're driving. Okay, and then you can do things like, I'm going to pay for cruises, I'm going to pay for different expenses, not spoiling people, but helping them to win, helping them to succeed also, and giving them the right tools to get ahead. That's what I'm after. If you work on that all day, every day, if you work on hitting a baseball every day, you're going to get better. Dribbling a basketball, you're going to get better. Hitting a tennis serve, you're going to get better. If you work on money all day, every day, you're going to get better at it. And you're going to learn that there's some fallacies. People say, if I made more money, man, I wish I got a raise, then I could pay off this debt. No, you're living above your means. If you made more, you would just spend more. And I work hard, I deserve this. It's like, no, you just spent, I don't know the numbers I just said, $5,500 on a lease to get a $489 car. You could have had a car for $5,500. Yeah, it's embarrassing. Yeah, the paint's peeling. Yeah, your friends are going to make fun of you. But so what? You can't live an extraordinary life without doing extraordinary things. And going without, at this day and age, I guess is extraordinary. But that's how you have to do it. You've got to make sacrifices. Renting out rooms in your house, renting out your cars, working extra hours towards a goal, towards first-time homebuyer credit, towards paying off all your debts so your credit score improves. So you can buy a house. Then you can rent out all the rooms in the house. It's not that hard. Jimmy Carr, the comedian, talks about that. I do stand-up comedy also, but I do open mic. He says, once you figure out what you want to do, then life's a little simpler. He's right, because then you got one thing to focus on. And, people can do it. And I want them to reach out, and I'm going to start doing some free seminars and get-togethers to talk to people about cash flowing assets and money. I want people to get ahead. I want to see them succeed. But they're doing the same sort of things. They're afraid to make a move. They're afraid to make a decision. They say, because I'm young, or I just got out of school, or this and that. It's like, now is the time. It's like, when's the best time to buy a home? Now. Now is always the best time. Because houses in general go up in value over time. You're waiting. You shouldn't be waiting for anything. Waiting for interest rates to drop, waiting for house prices to drop, waiting for a crash. You shouldn't be waiting. You should be aggressive and blowing by people on a rocket ship and taking what's yours, what's out there to be taken and won. The world is your oyster. There is zero limit on the upside. If a stock is $10, it can go to zero. That's it though, 10 to 0. And then you can buy another stock for $10. But $10 can be $1 million. The upside is infinite. The upside in life is infinite. All right? And you still have plenty of time. You just have to get out there and do it. Take care of yourself, take care of your body, take care of your mind, meditate, eat less, eat better, move your body, get in shape, lose weight, work hard, work harder. If you're not working hard enough, work harder, keep going. You have to bust your butt. There's no other way to do it. There's no hack. You are not going to win the lottery. You are not going to get an inheritance. You are not going to get a triple raise and then keep your lifestyle the same. You're going to upgrade your car. You're going to upgrade your house. You're going to put in a pool. You're going to get a Rolex. You're going to get new suits and new jewelry and new purses. You're going to get fancier glasses. You're going to upgrade your life and throw away your future for enjoyment. You're going to get a jet ski or a boat or whatever it is. Focus on being better, and then you will do better. Focus your energy on winning. I've been doing that for 3.5 years, and I've tripled my income, and I've 10x'd my knowledge base through failure and through taking risks and chances. Not through reckless behavior, but through grinding ahead. If you got to grind ahead. The CEO of UFC, Dana White, said it. If you are a savage today, you are going to blow by everybody. And that's exactly what's happening. Everybody's asleep at the wheel, and they're not seeing me coming. We're going to win. That's what we're doing all day. And then you get to raise your hands and say, man, look at this life I'm so proud of, a life of abundance, to help people, to help your family and friends, to help loved ones, not just to get stuff, not just to get things, not just to show off, not just to, feel better because you're keeping up with the Joneses. They got to change that. That reference is like 100 years old. They need to be like keeping up with the Smiths, right? Or in Orlando, there's a large Latin population. Keeping up with the Vegas, right? Maybe they say that in different cultures. But I want everybody to win. I want every boat to rise. I don't ever want to step on anybody to win. I've dealt with those douche canoes in the past. Yikes. I had some bad business deals with people who didn't take life seriously and were very selfish. And all those people are obese and diabetes and getting divorced and lying, cheating, stealing. That stuff doesn't work. It just does not work forever. You got to be a good person, have integrity, and then you can win. And it's interesting. I pass out hundreds of cards. I talk to everybody. Nobody calls me. I mean, am I that creepy? I had one kid call me once, and I talked to him for 40 minutes, and I never heard from him again. I think people are after something quick, something easy. They see TikTok, the influencers, Instagram. It's just not going to be easy. There's no hack. It's the hard work. When when I'm done and rich, and everybody says how lucky you are, yeah, I am lucky, but it was tons and tons of effort. It was 6 years of grinding it out. It was late nights. It was weekends. It was sweating. It was getting injured. It was failure and getting scammed. And it was problems and issues, but grinding ahead constantly. Nothing is going to stop me. It's like an army of guys with sledgehammers, and there's a concrete wall. We're gonna get there. All right, we're going to get there. The first one, it takes a little piece. All right, that's one less piece. That's how everything works. The next one less. Then you get 2 people. Then you get 4. That's compounding interest. That's compounding effort. Then you get 8. Then you get 16. Take a penny and double it every day for a month. How many pennies would you have? People are like, well, on day 1 I'd have 1. On day 2 I'd have 2. On day 3 I'd have 4. On day 4 I'd have 8. Well, you're probably going to have 110 pennies. I think it's like 11 million pennies or 20 million pennies. The power of compounding is crazy. I think it was Ben Franklin said, it's the 8th wonder of the world. You can do it. You can win. You can grind it out and have something, but you have to take action. That's a requirement. There's certain requirements and things. You want to be a great swimmer, you can't do it on land. Okay, you can do some of it, but the requirement is you've got to get your hands dirty. You have to take action. You have to take some risks. You've got to take some chances. You've got to get out there and figure it out and research it and learn it. It is not going to call you on the phone. It is not going to email you. It is not going to show up at your door. It just is not. Get out there and win, and then you can have something great. I don't know what people are waiting for. You got one life. You don't need to watch TV 8 hours a day. You don't need to sleep 9-10 hours a day. You don't need to go out every night and every weekend. I used to do that until I was like 37 or something. Yikes, maybe like 39. But eventually I said, man, I got to take responsibility for my own life. I want abundance for this family. I want to go out to dinner and not look at the bill. I want to say, a cruise, we're all going and it's on me. If we need another round of drinks, we get it. If we need another round of food, we get it. We valet parking, it's the ease, business travel, cars with more safety in them or something newer that doesn't break down when you get to that point. You got to struggle to get here. You got to walk before you run. Okay, you got to, jog before you fly. I don't know what that saying is, but we need to come up with one like that. Okay, you can do it. You need to learn about money. You need to know what would happen if you came into a whole bunch of money. What would you do with it? If you found $100,000 tomorrow on your doorstep tax-free, what would you do with it? You want to specifically know. I put this here, I do that there. You want to live below your means. You want to improve your income. It's such common sense. Well, let me see. If I don't spend anything and I keep improving my income, well, then I'm going to, that's how it works, man. That's how it works. It's not that hard. You can do it. You can figure it out. And I want everybody to do it. And I want everybody to check out the website. It's www.monetarytherapy.com. And you can email me, info@monetarytherapy.com. I'm Mike on the mic, Mike's Disc, and I want everybody to win. This is some Corvette confidence. I worked hard for 3.5 years, and I got my midlife crisis Corvette convertible, C8 2022, Rapid Blue with Lamborghini doors, underlights, interior lights, Spider-Man themed. Okay, but I use it as an asset. I use it for marketing. I rent it out. I'm going to do what it takes to win. Are you? That's the challenge. Let's do it.